Let's try to see a quick sneak peek that what we are trying to build in the document understanding series. In my input folder, I have 3 PDF. 2 are invoice, one is a native invoice, one is a scanned invoice, and then I have a receipt which is also in a scanned format. I'll go to my automation and I'll say run the file. Automation completed in 31 seconds. In the folder, I have 3 Excel file now. For the invoice, the relevant data such as the server name, the total and the date is extracted. Similarly, for the invoice, we have extracted the account number, the invoice number as well as the date. And same goes for the invoice number too. So this is the automation we are going to build. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the next video in the UiPath document understanding series where we are exploring the document understanding in a step-by-step manner. This is the complete video roadmap as well as the document understanding framework. So whatever you see in the proper colors such as low taxonomy, digitization, classification, validation of the classification, trainers, all of that we have already covered in the previous videos. And also in the last video we have seen that how I can do the extraction. In case you are directly coming to this video, I would recommend you to watch the previous videos to get the background for this one. Okay. Also, we have uploaded all the files, the receipts, the invoices which we are building on my website. So I have shown you how you can download, how you can practice along with me. And that way, at the end of this complete series, all of us would have the document understanding use case. Okay. Talking of the agenda, this would be our agenda for today. We are going to start with what exactly is human validation, what is the importance of present validation station, what are the different buttons which are available in the validation screen, level of confidence, data extraction section, what are the different selection modes, and then the validation station has a lot of buttons. So as an RPA developer, we should know what does these buttons mean. And lastly, we are going to touch upon something which is called the data extractor scope. So this would be our complete agenda for this video. In case you are coming to the channel for the first time and you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel to get the next videos in the document understanding series. Subscribing to the channel is free for you, but as soon as you subscribe, you like the video, you comment something, it sends a signal to YouTube that yes, people are liking this content, right? And that will help me to grow my YouTube channel. Having said that, let's get started. Before directly jumping into the topic, let's have a quick recap that what we have done till this point. Okay. So I have 3 sample files with me. 2 are the invoices, 1 is the receipt. And we have planned to extract the data from these invoices, and the use case which we are building is a reimbursement use case. Okay. So in the previous videos, we have seen that how do you can create a taxonomy. Then what is digitization, where you obtain this digitized text. Then we classified the digitized text into receipts into the invoice, which is the classification. And then we have seen that if the classification is not proper, how you can retrain the classification so that it is increasing the confidence level, right? And in the last video, we have seen that once the classification is done successfully, then we have to do the extraction, and I run the program in the debug mode, and we were able to see that the extracted output was available, such as one of this is like in the vendor name it is Michelle, right? So this is what we have seen in the last video. Now sometime what might happen that you have done the extraction and after the extraction the data is not proper. Okay, so till this point you might have seen that I have done the extraction. Now if I directly do the export from this stage, what might happen that without even checking whether the data is proper or not, the data would be exported, and then we might face unnecessary problems, right? Data incorrect, data inconsistent, data missing, and a lot of problems. So according to the framework, the next step should be that when you have extracted the data, get it validated, see if it is proper or not, and if the data is proper, then only export it to the next stage, right? That is the logical flow we should follow, and that is why the next step for today is the validation. If I talk about validation, it's a simple word which is a plain English word. What is the human validation? Now the UiPath extraction and classification technologies have done their job. Now, there always would be a need of a human validation in case the robots are not able to properly do its job, or there is some changes in the documents, or there is some layout which the robot was not able to find. And that is the place where I would need something which is called a human validation, and that's what we are going to see in this tutorial. If we talk about the human validation, here you need to know a little bit of UiPath technology. So just giving you a high level brief that in UiPath we have two kinds of robots, attended and the unattended. So if it is an unattended robot, the validation happens with the action center which is inside the UiPath, and if it is an attended robot, the validation will show as a pop-up directly to the user on his computer where he can validate the data, right, with the help of the validation station. So be it attended or unattended robot, we have to have this human validation, right? And action center and all we might be seeing in the upcoming videos, but today you need to understand that how does the validation work. Okay, now so if I have to do the validation, I have to use an activity which is called the present validation station. The extracted data has been confirmed by the human. For 100% accuracy, the human validation is always recommended. The robots extract the data, but they are not always so confident. And in case I want 100% accuracy, I would need the human validation, and that's what we are going to see. So before coming to the slide, let's do a practical implementation, and this slide would make more sense. Okay, so let's go back to the UiPath Studio now. Okay, so this is our workflow which we have built. We have the init, taxonomy, digitization, classification, validation, and in the last video we have done the extraction. Extraction was completed, started. We did the data extraction scope. We extracted with the help of regex, right? And then the extraction was completed. Okay, now today we want to do the validation. So I'll go to the activities and I will create a sequence. Okay, and I'll call this sequence as validation. Right now, here the first activity I am going to take is the present validation station. So go here and search something which is called the present validation station. Okay, if you remember it from the classification, you can just refer it in a way that when we checked, right, if the confidence level is less than 70, in the classification we use something which was called present classification station. Same like that, I am telling UiPath that now I am in the validation and you have to show me a present validation station. So same we have for the classification. When it was not sure, I shown a pop-up, we classified, increase the confidence. Same thing we are going to do for the data validation. So I'll drag and drop the present validation station here. Okay, and you would see that these are mostly the same details which you guys are now expert on, right? So what is the document path? I'm going to pass the document path, document text, which is the str document text. Then the document object model, I'll go here and I'll pass the document object model. Then it is asking me what is the taxonomy. So I'll go here and I'll pass the taxonomy. Then automatic extraction result. Whatever results were automatically extracted, and this one you are going to get from the extraction block. So I'll expand this and you will see here in the data extraction scope, if you guys remember, I'll go to the properties and here the output was extraction result, that whatever UiPath has extracted using the regex based are stored in this variable which is extraction results, right? So this variable extraction result we have to pass it here. So I'll go to the variables and extraction result, yes, the scope is already to the main sequence, so we should have this variable into the workflow. So in the validation, here it is asking me, Mukesh, provide me the automatic extraction results, and which I have stored in this variable. Okay, the automatic extraction results, and then this guy is asking me the output I will give you is the validated extraction result. So I will go here, hit Ctrl+K, and I'll just write here validated extraction results. Okay, and that way that variable is created. If I go to the properties, you would notice that these are the properties which it has, right? All of that we have set. Okay, there is one property which is show only relevant page range, that I'll show you in the presentation. Okay, now this present validation station, what would happen when the automation will run, it will show you a validation station where you have to validate the data. Okay, so as of now we have not put any condition here. So what would happen, every time whenever you run, after the extraction, it is going to show you that validation station, this guy, right, directly after extraction. So I will go here and I'll put a log message activity best practice, and then I'll just put a info level log, and I'll say here validation started. Okay, and I'll copy this and I'll at the end I'll say validation completed. Okay, I'll save this. I'll put a breakpoint on the present validation, or maybe in the log message, and let's try to run this automation and see what happens. Okay, and tick, 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 let's see the file which we have given. We have given this invoice2.pdf. Okay, so let's try to run it for invoice2 first. So I'll go here and I'll simply say debug the file. Okay, so now the DU framework is going to go through all the stages one by one, innate, taxonomy, and I hope you guys are able to follow along this complete thing, right? So we'll just wait and let's see what we get in the variables. Okay, so in the logs we can clearly see digitization started, completed. It is invoice 91% confident, more than 91% started, and then completed. Extraction started, extraction completed, right? Now I'll do a step into. Now it has gone to this one, which is the validation started. Okay, and now see carefully. As soon as I click on step into, I am instructing UiPath to open and show me a validation wizard. And now this is the place where you would see the complete validation wizard of where exactly the robot is able to find the information, right? So this is a new wizard which you might be looking for the first time. This is called the data validation wizard, where you have a lot of information and a lot of details to play around. Okay, so first thing first, if you see at the top, it says that this document type is invoices, right, from the taxonomy. The other thing you should see here is that you have all the fields from the taxonomy which are defined: invoice number, account number, and the date. And this guys, this number percentage show that where exactly is the extraction confidence, what exactly is the extraction confident. So it says that I am 100% confident that this guy is an invoice number. I am 100% confident that C1006 is a account number, and I am 100% confident that this is a date. So this number indicates that what is the extraction percentage. Okay, now here this is the extraction confidence. There is one more thing, which is the confidence score reported by the OCR engine. Now here, since this is a native editable PDF, that is why the OCR was not implied, and that is why you see the OCR confidence as NA, right? Why I am telling you this? Because this might be different in your use case, but you should know what exactly is this. OCR will show the OCR confidence, and the extraction will show that what method you have used. In our case, we have used the regex. So it says that with this extraction, I'm 100% confident that you have this. Okay. Now there are a couple of things which you can do here, right? So first one, you see this hamburger menu. In here you have something which is called the keyboard shortcuts. I hope that is self-explanatory. So the available keyboard shortcuts, and you would see the keyboard shortcuts, what you want to do with the help of keyboard without using the mouse, right? The next thing here is switch the third one, which is the switch the side panels. In case you want to change the view, you can also do that by clicking on this one, which is switch the panel sides. and you would see that now it has moved to left and right, right? In case you want to go back, I'll just make it to here, which is switch the panel slides, and this is the back to the default view, right? So depending on how you want to see it, you can switch it also. Now the important one here is, as of now I have 3 fields, okay, and you would see here UiPath is also highlighting them with a different colors. So this color match to this guy. So if you see here in the taxonomy also, it has got different colors, right? I told you that I am going to tell you the significance in the upcoming videos. This is where it is making significance, right? So it says that this green color is the invoice, this orange something is this one, and this gray one is the date. At any point of time, let's say this is a very huge data and you don't want to see it, you can just simply go here and say hide the extracted tokens, and now the data is gone and you only see this guy. So I'll go here and I'll say show the extracted tokens, right? So that way it is getting matched. So I hope you got this number. What is this numbers? What is this colors? What is this menu? Okay, let's move to the next option, which is this one, switch the document view, right? Do you want to use the image view or the text only view? Remember this thing, we also do the same thing in the classification, where UiPath was asking us, do you want to see which view to classify? This is the same view which is asking me that, okay, do you want to see it in the image view or do you want to see in the text view, right? The same option is available for you. Depending on your requirement, you can change it. Now the last one here is selection mode. How do you want to select the data? As of now it is selected as token. You can select the custom area or the choose after selection. Custom area, you can just draw it like this and it should be able to select the data, right? So this was about the menu option which is available here. And then here you have something which is called the zoom out, zoom in and fit to the screen, right? So I can just zoom out in case the document is big. You can just do it like this, right? So this is how the validation station look like. If you feel that everything is well and good, all you have to do is just go here and click on this button, which is the submit, and it says that submit the extracted data, and I just go here and I click on this button, submit. It says that 3 fields will be automatically confirmed, right? It says that Mukesh, I have shown you the extraction result but you didn't validate it, right? So do you want me to confirm? Sorry, you didn't confirm. So how do you confirm that whatever it has got is correct or not? So in the validation station, as a human, the expectation is the human should tell, right, that okay Mr. UiPath, whatever you have extracted is correct or not. But I didn't confirm it. That's why whenever I say continue, it says that you haven't confirmed anything. Do you want me to automatically confirm? If I say continue, it will just confirm it. But let's say as a human, I want to confirm. So how that is done? You just see this checkbox here, click on that and it confirms this validated. Now see here, this account number is not validated. It is just showing that whatever extraction has done. So I am asking for a human validation. So I say validated. Now you see this number is getting changed. Previously it was 3. Now it is 1. Done. And then I say continue and save. And that comes out and the validation is completed. I can continue and the automation stopped. Right. So that is how the validation station look like. Now let's try to do something else. I'll go to the init and this time let me change it to the OCR. Okay, so our invoice 1, right, if you guys remember, our invoice 1 I think have the OCR because it was a scanned PDF. Debug the file. Okay, I am trying to explain it in a step very easy manner so that the people who are looking this for the first time, they should be very much comfortable in using this button and icons, right? So let's see what happens in case the document is a scanned document, right? For the native one, we have seen that the OCR column was missing. Okay, so we'll just wait and let's see what happens. Okay, and validation started. I have put the breakpoint and now the validation station is going to come for the scanned one. right? And this time also everything is same. You see the colors, everything, highlights, everything you see here, right? All the same stuff. The difference with that is this guy, which is the OCR confidence. Now here the OCR confidence, you would see previously it was not applicable because it was a native PDF. This one is a scanned PDF. That is why it says that this is the OCR confidence, 98%, 98% and 100% confident on the OCR extractions, right? So that is how you differentiate between the OCR and the extraction. And here also it is 100% confident that I have got the correct data. So I can just go here and I can say this is done, this is good, this is good. This is how you confirm. Just tick this data and you say submit. That means as a human I have validated that all the data whichever has extracted is correct or not. Okay, let's try to do the same thing with the receipts, right? And here I'll go here and I'll say receipt. I think that's the name. Yeah, I'll save this and let's try to see the same thing for the receipt. Okay, and the taxonomy started and it says that the receipts.pdf is not available. Okay, I think I misplaced the name. Let's quickly see. I forgot the name of the receipt, right? Sorry, receipts.pdf. Okay, there is no space, my bad, right? I'll save this and let's try to run it again in the debug mode. Okay, the file name was not correct. And for the receipts, let's see whether it is able to extract all the information correctly or not, right? And that's where I require a human validation. Okay, so we'll just wait and let's see what happens. Digitization started. Okay, validation started. Present validation station. Okay, and let's see. Here also it's 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. Michelle is correctly highlighted, this is correctly highlighted, this is correctly highlighted. And as a human, I just go here and I say confirm, right? Because everything is 100%. For the OCR also, it's always 100%, 98%, looks good. So I can just go here and I click on this button, which is submit, right? Now here are two things which you guys should remember, right? Now you think as a developer, would you always like to have this present validation, right? We have seen how does it work, so I hope you are clear that what does we have to do in the present validation, right? Now you might think that, do I always need a human validation? Or if the robot is at certain percentage, right, like we did in the classification, that if it is X percentage confident, then only you go for the validation, right? And most of you would agree to me that Mukesh, it should go and show this panel only when it is meeting a certain percentage or a certain confidence. Otherwise there is no point in just showing that and just validating. If it is already at 100%, 80%, 90%, why do you require a human validation? And you are absolutely correct, right? So after the extraction, this present validation should be in some condition, and that condition can be as simple as that which value you require, right? You can run all the values in the loop, right? And you can simply check here that what is the confidence level, and based on that only you just show this present validation station, right? And where is that data? Right, if I just go here and I put a breakpoint, okay, I'll go here and I'll say debug. Okay, so that's why in the last video I was showing you that complete structure. Remember, we discussed a lot on that complete structure of the extraction result, right? Because that is the place where you have all these details, right? So now if you go to the locals, in this one you have this guy which is the extraction results, right? So inside this extraction result, if you guys remember, inside the extraction results, then the results document, right? And inside the result document we have this guy, which was the fields, right? Extraction document, result documents, and then inside that we had this fields, and inside the fields we have this data here, right, which was having all these records. So when you see all these records, this is the place along with the server name and all those details, right? It is also having the confidence here somewhere. Let me just expand it. So it says that yes, I have got this value Michelle, and it would also have the confidence level. And you see here this confidence, this is 1. This means 100% confident that yes, it is a correct value. If that is less, then only I would like to open this validation station, right? And that condition you can always write here by just writing an if condition, right? So maybe in the upcoming videos I would share you that condition, that how you can write it there. Okay, so we'll park that for a while, because since now we are just creating a simple workflow step by step. So this is the validation, right? So for now what I will do is, do I want a validation or not? I can simply go to the variables, okay, and I'll create a Boolean variable which is like, is validation required? Okay, we'll set it to Boolean, and I'll make this to the main sequence, and I'll set it to true, right? Sorry, not true, I'll just leave it to blank. It's a Boolean, so the default value would be false, right? So what I'll do is, before this validation, I'll go here and I'll take a if activity, drag and drop it here, okay, and here I can just write a condition, which is that if the is validation required flag is true, right, then only you do the extraction, which is then only you do the validation, sorry, my bad, like this, then only you do the validation. Otherwise in this one I just say a log message activity, and I just mention here that the validation not required, okay, and that way you can control this validation station. Now what would be the condition to get this flag true? You have to just write a condition by just going to each and every C, and whatever value you want to show it here, you can, based on that you can set this Boolean flag to true, right? Maybe in the more detailed videos I would like to cover that as well, but as of now, if you want it or you don't want it, you can just control this by your Boolean flag here. In case you don't want it, you can just go here and set this false flag to false, and that way you won't get this validation station. In case you want to validate, just set this value to true. In your real-time automation, I have shown you that you have to use the complete branch validated results.document type .this confidence. Just check that condition, set this flag to true, and then you can show and hide this, right? So we'll park that for a while, but I just wanted to give you an idea that how does this validation station look like, okay? Now here in our validation station, everything is 100%, so there was no actual need of human validation, right? But let's say I have a use case where I am not able to get the validation properly. What should I do, right? So for that, what I have done is, and you can also try with that, I have got a new invoice, which is a invoice number 3, right, which is a completely new invoice, which looks something like this, which we have not trained, right? So we have tested it on our 2 samples, and let's say if I try to run the automation on this thing, whether I am able to get the correct data or not, and let's see what is the extraction results, right? So what I have done is, I have taken a new sample and I will go here and I will try to run this automation with a new invoice. Okay, so is extract validation required? Let me set it to true. Okay, and what I'll do is, in my initialization, I hope now you guys understood why we have made it like this, right? In my initialization, I will just change this path to that file. Okay, so I'll go here and I'll take the invoice 3, copy as path. Okay, you can take any invoice from your computer. Okay, and paste this file name here, right? Any invoice from your computer you can take and try to run that invoice and see how does the automation behave. Okay, I'll save this and let's try to run this in a debug mode and let's see what happens. Okay, so I hope you understood the use case. Whatever the invoices we have get, it was always 100%, right? So we were not able to see the actual utilization of the present validation scope, right? So now this time I have got a new invoice and that is completely new, right? So I am also not sure what's going to happen. Let's see. So digitization started, and good part is it was able to classify it as an invoice, and here you would see that 100% it is confident that it is invoices, but you would see that it was not able to extract these details, right? The reason for that is we are using a regex based extractor, and the regex we have used was invoice, and this time it became invoice number. The date also is something else, right? And the account number was also not extracted. So all of these things are blank, not extracted, not extracted, not extracted. And this is a very good use case for us to see that, right? At the same time, if I go to the OCR, right? Oh, I think this is a native PDF, I guess. Yeah, that's why there is no OCR, right? But I hope you understand the OCR concept as well now, right? Now for the extraction, what the developer is going to do. So sometime you might have a use case which is like this. You got an invoice which some of the fields are extracted, some of not are extracted, right? And since none of them are extracted, I have shown this to human that, hey human, now can you help the robot to validate the extracted results, right? It's not extracted, so what should I do? As a human, I can identify that this is the invoice number. So all you have to do is, for all the field, just go here and select this guy. Where is the invoice number? As a human, I can see that this is the invoice number, and then you have to click on this button, which is the plus, which is the extract value, and now it is 100% confidence that yes, this is an invoice number, right? And it is also showing you validated. Okay, at any point of time, if you want to remove it, you can just say revert to the previous value. Okay, now let's say I am having an invoice and that invoice is not having an account number. Let's see here, right? Do I have an account number? Yeah, this is a very good use case, right? So here you would see I don't have an account number. How would it is going to extract it? And now the human also know that, okay, this is a new invoice and I don't have the account number. What should I give this? So you can just click on this button without selecting anything, and it would be marked as is missing. Field is confirmed missing, no value found in the document, right? For an already confirmed value, let's say this one was provided by the robot and the robot has made some mistake, you can also change it as mark as missing, right? But for the fields which are not here, you can simply click on this one and say that this is missing. If you point it to something and then you click on this plus button, it will be directly extracted as a value, right? So they have made it like this. Now where is the date? Which date you want to do, right? So our regular expression was not able to extract this date. So let's say I was interested in this date. So I'll just go here and point to the date. Now that is where you use this selection option. You can use the selection option or you can use the custom area. So the data can be also selected by custom area like this. Okay, and then you can use the tokens. To switch back to the token, you can go to tokens. To switch to the custom area, you can use this one, and then I just say custom area and I point it to this one, and then I click on this plus button which says extract the value, and that would be extracted. It only extracted the date, right? So that means still it is still not able to get the date, right? So I can just go here, revert, and let me try with the tokens now. Select this, add, and now you see the day, month and the year is properly got available, right? So you can use this to switch the mode as well. And lastly, I have shown you this text image one, right? You can use this options also. So back to this, and that's how you just put all these details, and now it is 100% confident that yes, all this data is available. So validation station, it will be helpful you in this situation where the data is not classified, or it is not confident, or it is 0% confidence. As a human, you just use these buttons, you just validate, put it to the correct location, everything done. Just click on this button, which is the submit, right? Once I submit, it will go back to the automation. Now sometime you might have a exception document, right, which clearly means that I was doing it for invoice and receipts, and somebody sent me a passport, or somebody sent me a resume. You have this button here which says that is this document an exception. Click on that and it would report this document as an exception, right? So you don't necessarily have to put all these details, you can directly mark this exception here. That part the robot has left for you to do here. And then once you have confirmed the data, everything, it is missing, this is done, this is done, just click here, which is the submit, and that's it. That completed the present validation station, right? And you can always toggle this true and false based on the flag. As of now I am doing it from the flag, but please write the logic which I just explained you here. I'll write it maybe sometime in the next video, but as of now you can just do it from the toggle it from this button, which is true and false. Okay, so I hope you understood the concept and why this is important. Okay, so with that we'll save this, and now let's go back to the presentation. Now validation, we have seen that this opens the validation station, allows you to review and if necessary correct the document classification and the automatic data extraction results, right? So you can also correct the document classification as well, please remember this. Okay, following the same pattern, the rest intelligent OCR activities, the configuration of the activity output is provided in the document understanding steps, right? So all of this we have already seen, and the output is a validated results, right? Whatever you have validated, that you will get as an output. Now the present validation has all these details, and I told you that there is a new field which is called show only relevant page range. This simply means that if selected, only the page range mentioned in the extraction result are shown, and the pages that are outside the range are hidden, right? So you can just toggle this on and off, and you can set this as per your requirement. Okay, now here I want to tell you a very important and an interesting feature of the present validation station, right? In case you are using the latest version of the activities package, you might have an additional field here, which is the field validation confidence, that is still in preview. This field validation confidence is the same thing which I told you to write by the logic, by just writing that percentage, right? In case the percentage is less than, you just set this percentage level 0.25, 0.23, 0.24, and based on that this validation station would be shown or hidden, right? So you don't have to write that complete logic, and this field as of now is in preview, right? Which means that if you go to the latest version of the activity package, you might see it here. Just configure it and see that how does it look like, right? Maybe I'll cover in the future videos, but you might see that here. Set that percentage, that what percentage I want to show that validation, and you don't have to use my true false logic and the other logic which I was showing, right? But in case you are in the enterprise version, sorry my friend, you might not have it. Okay, so that was the properties of the present validation station, and these are the things which I have shown you, but this is having a proper documentation. In this hamburger menu you have the keyboard shortcuts, hide the extraction token, we have seen that. I can do it left, right, image only, text only view. I hope you guys understand. Text versus token, selection area, token, custom area, this, right? You can rotate the document, zoom, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, right? All of these controls are available on the screen. Okay, and please remember the rotate option is available only in the image view, right? You cannot rotate the text. Okay, and this is the image view and this is the text view, right? Just to show you guys, we have already seen in the practical, but just to show in the slides that this is the image view and this is what we call the text view. You can rotate this, but you cannot rotate this view. Okay, and now in the data extraction scope we have all these details we have also discussed in detail, but just to want to go through the theory as well. The confidence level is shown for the OCR or the extraction. The OCR confidence is given by the OCR engine which is used. If the OCR does not report any confidence, NA, it means that it is a native editable PDF. Okay, and then you have the extraction confidence as well. Okay, the confidence score can be increased or can be decreased by just adding the and validating manually the data, right? So if you see on my screenshot here which I have put, this is 98% confidence, this is 97% confidence, right? So you can just add and remove the data and increase the confidence as well. Okay, and then level of confidence, the OCR level of confidence might be different for different field. As we have seen, there are 4 level of confidence. Below 50% color is red, between 50 to 85 color is yellow, 86 to 99 the color is green, and 100% green is to that when it is 100% confidence, right? So this is just to show the color coding of the OCR confidence, right? And we have also seen that in this one extraction menu you can change the extracted value, you can mark it as missing, or you can revert to the previous value. Very helpful when the data is not extracted, right? So remember our use case, I provided a new invoice which was not trained, it was not able to get the data, I just go here and added the data, right? So this is the extraction menu where you have all these options available, including mark as missing. So in even if case the validation has extraction has given you this, in the validation you can mark as missing. That power as a human you still have. Okay, and lastly we have these button which are the validation station buttons. Save and close, right? Save the confirm result, save and close, exception symbol, report it as an exception, save and continue. Enabled only when all the values are manually confirmed. By selecting it, all the data is confirmed and saved. So there are 2 things here, one is dismiss and dismiss star. Dismiss star means as a human you might have done some changes, if you want to dismiss you can do that, and this means that enabled when no change is done on the table. Okay, so these are the buttons you would see at the bottom of the validation station. Okay, now an important topic guys, which is the train extractor scope. So I have validated the extraction data. Okay, now if I rerun this file again, I will again see the same data. And from your experience of classification and the train classifier, you would understand that is happening because we have not trained the extractors. So in UiPath you have an option and you have an activity which is called the train extractor scope, which means that if I have trained it for validated one set of data, if I get the rerun the same, it should not come again, right? Same thing we did in classification. I think you are able to relate. Here I was not able to do that. The reason for that is train extractor scope activity is there for me. Okay, if I go back to my UiPath studio here, right, and I just say here train the extractor, I have this activity, I can configure everything, but then it is asking me drop the trainable activities. What activities you want to train? And as per UiPath, only the available extractor trainers are machine learning extractor can be only trained, and this is a part of UiPath.documentunderstanding.ml activities. So as of now we are not going into the ML packages, we have not used any ML activities. That is why we cannot use this activity. We can use this activity but we do not have the trainer, right? So that is why your human validation will pop up, you confirm it and it will be getting extracted, but it won't be trained automatically, because for that you need the machine learning extractor, which we have not used till now, right? But you have to remember, in case you are building an automation, you validated something, same like classification, it has to go back into the classification trainers validated data, so that if the same invoice come, not every time it should be popping up to the human. right? So that you can control by that Boolean flag, and ideally it should be not showing to the human by retraining it. Why we cannot retrain? Because we have not used the ML extractor, and since I have not used the ML extractor, we cannot use the train extractor scope. But you should aware of this concept, right? And this is from the UiPath documentation. Please read about the train extractor scope and get more clarity on it. Okay, so I'll go back to my automation and I'll delete this guy, which is the train extractor scope, and that completes our validation. So we have complete all these stages. So that is it I wanted to cover in this video. And today we have seen this part after the extraction. How do I need a human verification, training, and after human verification it can directly go to extraction, or from here also it can directly go to the export, right? So now in the next tutorial we are going to see how we can export the data, and which would be the last video for this blocks, right? So with that I would like to wrap this video here. Thank you for watching. I would really appreciate your feedback on this series, and let me know whether you are learning the document understanding or not. Okay, and in case you are enjoying this, feel free to post it in the LinkedIn, in the social media, tag your friends and invite them also to join this series, so that all of us can understand the complex topic of document understanding, right? I'll see you in the next video of the export. Till then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and happy automation.